At half of the press. Well, my people, me here for drop the real news, news, reviews, everything in a one right this or right there, my people. So all I want to know to do is like up the video, share out the video, subscribe to my channel, my people. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Let's get right into it.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan, wagwan. I'm back again with another video. A man was fatally shot during an alleged confrontation with the police in Kingsland, Manchester, early on Tuesday. Relatives have identified the man as 26-year-old Orlando Clive Waite, otherwise called Gart, a resident of Kingsland. My wisdom warriors, wanna hear this now? One more confrontation. That means he a shootout. Boy, them not easy, you know? Them not easy. Anyway, my wisdom warriors, we are going at the parliament right now because them live in living colors in a parliament. So Fayval Williams, on a finance minister, she a big up Vegas. Vegas will come out and tell pure lie. Vegas will come out and mislead the Jamaican people. Dirty Fayval. Dirty Fayval, you're too enough and little bit on my case. I don't care how old you is. You're too little bit enough. You're too little bit enough. But you come out and I come big up Vegas. How can you big up Vegas and Vegas mislead the Jamaican people? Me really not understand Uno. That's why me can't respect none of Uno. Me not care how old Uno is. Me can't respect Uno because the whole of Uno blows and skirt thief. From Uno say Andrew, Uno thief. My wisdom warriors, hear this.
Let me lives on in me. Madam Speaker, it's not where you begin, it's where you end. Yes. And I want to thank Mr. Vegas and others in social media who understood the message of one cocoa full basket. Rome was not built in a day. Take your hand, make fashion, who stood up in social media against the nonsense videos about $2,000 Pro Box. Madam Speaker, let me caution the opposition and their supporters about how they talk about Pro Box. Currently, there are 23,423 Pro Box vehicle owners in Jamaica. So be very careful that you don't disrespect Pro Box. Be very careful. Be very careful. Be very careful that you don't disrespect Pro Box, which is made by Toyota, the largest car manufacturer in the world.
Minister, it would appear that the members would like to be here until 9 o'clock tonight.
Madam Speaker.
Please allow the minister to present
Madam
uninterrupted.
Speaker, it is a vehicle that has been around for 20 years and has been a resounding commercial success for Toyota. It is fuel efficient and has very good aftermarket value. So be careful how you speak about Pro Box. Madam Speaker, it's not where you begin, it's where you end. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. Madam Speaker, we've come to the closing hour of the budget.
My wisdom warriors, how can somebody respect somebody like Dirty Fayval? Like literally, how can me for respect she? When she out here a big up Vegas. How can you big up Vegas? Vegas that lie, tell pure lie and mislead the Jamaican people. This to show you what type of person is Fayval, you know. This to show Jamaica what type of person is Fayval. Yeah, my wisdom warriors. You see, looks are deceiving. Not because she did it and quiet and this and that and a guani. She's a dirty wretch. Wanna hear me? She's a wretch. She's a wretch. Like seriously, when me hear she do that, me say no. Me lose all respect for Fayval. Me, hot off of the press, lose all respect for Fayval. Yeah, because how can you come out here and big up somebody like Vegas that mislead the country daily? Mighty God of Daniel, man, I hate Jamaican people too much, man. All I think about is the rich people. All I think about are investors and stakeholders. Nothing for average people. Nothing. And when PNP come out and I talk about the average people, them, wanna get vexed. Wanna get vexed and say all sort of things and always I go back to the 90s. Why wanna not go back to Siaga time? Why wanna not go back to Siaga time? Wanna talk about 90s and PJ parties? So wanna stop them foolishness, them man. Wanna go to the road? Wanna not go to the road are the problem. The road is Siaga. That's how wanna go. What wanna not go there so? You think so people are idiot? People are not idiot around here. Wanna stop a fuckery, seriously. And Fayval Williams, I don't know what is wrong with you, you know. I don't know why you act like this or who instruct you to act like this. But get ready because you're going to get dragged all over social media. No, you're going to get dragged all over social media for coming out here and chatting shit and trying to discredit PNP work. This woman, she irritates me. She is so annoying. I can't stand her. Seriously, me can't stand her.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. On the first measure, the opposition has no objection to it. We recognize the importance of cash in our society, and we're fully aware of the number of incidents where cash courier companies have been attacked, people have been killed, and the impact that that has had on the ability of banks to restock their ATM machines and ensure that there is adequate cash. So any measure which facilitates those companies having more armored trucks is certainly something that we would support, and we do. Madam Speaker, on the second measure, we do have concerns about the removal of GCT on imported raw food items. My first question to the Minister, can you indicate which countries, if any, raised an objection to this? And did these objections take place within the ambit of the World Trade Organization, which has a process to deal with objections of this nature? And if you could indicate where within the process that objection got to and whether there was a resolution. I raise this because the removal of GCT on imported items has the potential to negatively impact the local agricultural sector. Notwithstanding what anybody wants to say, we know that developed countries subsidize their agricultural industry to an extent that we don't, very heavily. And while I assume there was some pressure brought on the government to undertake this measure, we operate, trade operates within a rules-based environment. So I want to know who raised the objection, where within the WTO process we got to, what was Jamaica's defense, whether the advice taken to remove the GCT was something done in consultation with the AG's department and other stakeholders, because we don't have a level playing field in this world, and we don't want to undertake measures which will negatively impact our local industry. I know this was introduced by your predecessor. We raised the concerns then. There really wasn't any satisfactory answer provided as to why we were being forced to take this measure. But now that we're here, I would like some answers on that particular issue.
Minister, there is also a follow-up from the member from St. Catherine South, St. Catherine Southern.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, I want to add my support to the relief regarding the armored vehicles. During the deliberations of the Economy and Production Committee, where we had the Bank of Jamaica present, the strong argument was made through the governor from the operators of the ATM machines about the enormous costs involved in adequately providing ATM machines across the country. And against the background of closures of many of the banks across the country, we have many communities in rural Jamaica who have to journey, I'm told by some members of parliament, up to 30 miles to get to an ATM machine. And even in the corporate area and other urban centers, a number of machines remain inoperative for extended periods of time, making it extremely difficult for citizens to access cash to make their transactions. Quite frankly, they appeal to the government for the support, and now that there's a response positively as it relates to the costs involved in providing these machines, we expect, and the country, because when the government gives these tax relief, it is the taxpayers of the country that make the sacrifice. And to the extent that the government is providing this relief, boy, oh boy. And therefore, Madam Speaker, the citizens expect that the banks will respond in a very positive way in making sure that our consumers have easier access to ATM machines against the enormous number of closures that they have implemented in recent times. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, member. The leader of the opposition, the member from St. Andrew. So you'd have to turn off your mic. It's going to come next. Oh, okay. Member from St. Andrew Western.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'd like to, first of all, I support the measures on the courier, and I want to adopt this sentiment attached by my colleague from St. Catherine South East. St. Catherine South. Madam Speaker, I want to address the situation as it regards the removal of GCT and agricultural item, including the listing contained in the resolution. Madam Speaker, I can hardly think of a worse time that we'd want to bring this resolution, because the rules in the WTO have been totally upended. The rules affecting trade in the WTO has been totally upended, creating an environment now where developing countries are put at a distinct disadvantage, and small developing countries an even worse disadvantage. The reality is that the rules-based system we agreed to because there was some equity in it for the developing countries. That has now been turned on its head by current policies, trade policies, and measures being adopted by developed countries. In addition to the built-in subsidies and the blue box, green box, yellow box arrangements in agriculture, the imposition of tariff at this point of time has meant that any consideration that we may have had in terms of working with the rules to phase out some of these measures that we have imposed I think we now have to consider that these are now protective measures in light of what is emerging, what is evolving in terms of trade policies in being imposed in developed countries. I believe, Madam Speaker, that the timing of this could not be any worse. It cannot be any worse because the impact on our local sector is real and damaging. And it further puts us at a disadvantage by this removal of the tariff at a time when tariff is being imposed. And not only tariff, my understanding is that it's tariff and other measures are being imposed. And so, Madam Speaker, I would strongly urge the Minister to reconsider this particular set of measures. Reconsider them because it will further put the agricultural sector at a further disadvantage. The timing of it is simply, we have yet to understand the full extent of the measures that are being proposed and what are the implications for our economy in general and the agricultural sector in particular. And I would ask and urge that it be deferred so that we have an opportunity to understand what are the evolving set of measures that are being imposed on us at this point of time. I strongly urge that as someone who participated in the WTO arrangement, negotiated Jamaica's accession to the WTO, the imbalances that will be imposed on us by these new fangled measures that are being imposed, I think need to be appreciated, studied, understood, and the impact assessed. I would urge that.
Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too understand the need for the tax break, essentially, that's been given to our security companies bringing in the armored vehicles. We all know the terrible situation that has been faced by them with the multiple robberies of ATMs and of armored vehicles arriving to either deliver or remove cash. So I don't think anybody in the House would have an issue with that. I also want to endorse a concern raised by my colleague, the member for Western St. Andrew, in relation to the timing of the implementation of this amendment to the GCT Act, third schedule. As has been said, we are now in an era where measures including tariffs, but also not limited to tariffs, all sorts of measures affecting trade are being touted, being pushed, being considered, and it's a very unsettled environment because we don't know where it's all going to end. In the meantime, we are removing a protective measure that was in place for the benefit of local producers of food and exposing them to the loss of that protection. Yes, there may be other import duties and charges that the importers of these items will have to pay, but as has been said, it is well established that for some of our trading partners, there are heavy subsidies that their producers enjoy from the states in which those countries, those producers are producing those food items. So it's not a level playing field in terms of the cost structures that the various competing players have to contend with. And the removal of this at this time seems to me to be premature. And although it was announced in the budget debate a year ago, and it's only coming here now, it seems to me that much has changed since then in terms of the international environment concerning trade. And I think we would be well advised to wait to see how the dust settles before we rush to implement this permanently in our law. And I also endorse and would like to, and I would also like to endorse and look forward to hearing the answers to the questions as to how this particular measure originated. You know, who was bringing pressure against Jamaica on this issue? Which country or countries? Where did it reach in the WTO system? What was Jamaica's stance in relation to any proceedings, if any, that were brought in the WTO system? How were those proceedings or that complaint or complaints, how were they resolved? You know, all we heard was that these protective measures were being removed, but we've never had a satisfactory answer as to why this has happened. And I look forward to the answer to that. There's one other point I wish to make, Madam Speaker, and it is this. These measures are having retroactive effect. So the armored vehicles, the dispensation or the exemption, the zero rating, whatever it is, under the second schedule, which I assume is the SCT, and under the third schedule, the exemption under the third schedule, is taking effect from, in one instance, April 1, 2024, and in the other instance, July 1, 2024. Similarly, the exemption in relation to the raw foods, whether it be meats or vegetables, is taking effect July 1, 2024. Now, I have to ask, what is the situation in relation to the imports which have taken place up to this date, or up to the effective date of this order? Was GCT collected or not on these items? If GCT was not collected on these items, what was the legal basis for it not being collected? Because I'm not aware of any provisional collection of tax act orders coming here to, for approval to implement on a temporary basis these measures. Normally, under the provisional collection of tax act, the minister can vary a tax or levy a tax, but it lasts for a finite period of time and then expires unless it comes here and is approved by the House. No such orders have come in relation to this, to the best of my knowledge. So my question is, what was the situation in relation to these imports during the period from these dates, which they're the effective dates of the order, April 1 in some instances, July 1 in others from last year, up to the time of the effective date of this order. And this order is dated March 19th. And I believe it takes effect on that date, subject to being approved here affirmatively. So I want to know, was GCT collected on these imports in the intervening period? If the answer is yes, what was the, or if the answer is no, it was not collected, then what was the legal grounds or basis upon which it was not collected by customs at the wharf? And if it was collected, with this measure now taking effect retroactively, what is going to happen to the revenue that was collected? Are we now exposed to having to refund these people for the GCT that was paid on these imports? There's a lot to be answered in relation to this, Madam Speaker, and I look forward to hearing the responses, or perhaps we should suspend the debate of this measure to give some time to the Minister to look into these very important issues. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Huh?
So my wisdom warriors, una see say Andrew Holness them now do nothing in the best interest of the people. Una see that though? Andrew Holness, they don't care about the lower class of people. They really don't. You understand? And something need to be done about this. Something need to be done about this. Una see how they do things. Them conniving. Them conniving and them a general and them lie. Them lie. Boy, I don't know where them come from. My wisdom warriors, me I tell you say, me also, you know, me day and me I watch the budget and sitting and me I tell you say me can't listen to Fayval. Fayval is misleading the house. No, me know say Fayval a real idiot. That woman a real idiot. She not have no sense. She a mislead the whole Jamaica. This woman, boy, me no know. God know, me can't even show it. Me can't even show it because she's misleading Jamaica. My wisdom warriors, Me get fi understand say Mark Golden a beat them bad. And when she come out now and make her last speech, she feels that go help her. That now go change the people them mind because of pure lie. Them a liar. You understand? Jamaican minds already make up already. A change them want. Change them want. When me hear she say, how Mark Golden promised them and Mark Golden promised them this and that. Listen, Mark Golden administration are going to be totally different. You know see? You know see? Say pure mostly young people in a Mark Golden administration. You come like you know see what go on. And the way I see Mark Golden do things, me I tell you no say, Mark Golden is the right person. Fayval Williams in our parliament and she talk about FinSac. She bring up FinSac. I know she not talk about SSL and she's a finance minister. Was she supposed to come and address the nation? She not talk about that. But that friggin' wrinkle up wretch. Listen, on the law me make me cuss her, you know. Law me make me cuss her. Not because she all my wisdom warriors, she feels that she gonna come out and discredit people. Because if you can't come out and discredit people and criticize people, she better make sure so she can take it. Me think the woman I go talk about the Kroll report. She not have no shame. She come out and discredit PNP, go and come. And she not come out and talk about the Kroll report. Look from when we asked for the Kroll report for release. Look from when we asked for the Kroll report to release. And she not come out and release nothing. But this witch, I want a witch, you know. She's a blouse and skirt witch. I told her not even know. I want done her, you see. Me I tell you no, I want done her for free. I want cuss out her clot. Me I tell you no. I want cuss out her clot. Because the woman are going like say, PNP never do nothing yet. Box cover. My wisdom warriors. Blessings upon blessings here, man. Big up on yourself. One love.